Okay, so already a lot of students have joined the session. Yes, Deepti, the lectures will start. The lecture will start definitely. So this is the time where I start the session. So hello everyone. So I was just introducing about what actually is Hitbullseye's Big Bull Ki Pathshala. So a lot of students who joined the session like 5 minutes earlier. So I was telling them about this session. So what is Hitbullseye's Big Bull Ki Pathshala? Basically, in this session, we invite you all so that you can ask all your queries, all your doubts related to your course curriculum and the real world. In this session, you have a faculty from Hitbullseye or two faculties from Hitbullseye or some eminent personalities from the actual industry of law, management, or any other. Basically, what we want you is to feel that thing that when you'll pass out from Hitbullseye, when you'll, crack your competitions. So what actually your life is going to be, either in college or after college. So let's just start this session. And so since all of you know that right now we are in the pandemic situation and things are quite dicey. You never know what can happen. So things are just going like AWOD. So you don't know what actually is going to be the next step. Already the dates have been postponed, right? So I hope you all can see my screen. Any one of you can just write or tell me. I hope the screen is visible to you all.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Tamanna. So when I talk about the last step towards your goals, that is this smile. I believe a lot of you are in this session are from 2021 batch who will be appearing for 2021 exams. Please comment down 2021 if you are here for preparing of the same year. 2021. Okay, Ishika says yes. Any other students for 2021? Okay, I'm just waiting for the response. Okay, Tamanna is here for 2022. No issues, Tamanna. Every information that you get from this session will be definitely be very helpful. Don't worry. Okay. More students, 21, 21, 21. Great, 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 great. Okay. So basically, this is the last step towards your goal. Last year, if I talk about the CLAT exam, it was held on, I guess, 27th or 20th of September. That is how it delayed because of this pandemic situation. And still, we hope that this situation will recover and, things will get back to normal soon. But still, we are hoping that you stay home, stay safe. And the best possible situation that you have today is the online classes, the online exam. So CLAT was supposed to be in the offline mode this year, but still we are hoping that it should go online only. That will really help you out, guys, right? So now when I talk about the dates to fear, so right now some random internet board dates, board exam dates are floating, right? Now, what happens when you search a lot on internet? You just confuse yourself. There are a lot of things on internet which are actually just not to be looked out for. The dates, any random post, any random passages are just posted over there. What happens is you get that anxiety. You feel that yaar, abhi I was thinking that the exam will be postponed. Abhi I was thinking the exam was not supposed to be postponed. Dates, this is the date, that is the date. So never trust on these random internet dates, because these are just the hooks that people use to get likes or read on their pages, nothing else. So when you click anything on the Google page, everything has its meaning. You will not be benefited out of that, but someone else will be. My point is not that someone else should not get the benefit out of it. The thing is that you should not get the anxiety or you should not get the wrong information. This was about the board exams. The similar for the CLAT exam as well. Now, when they announced in the second week of this month that the CLAT exam date will be announced, that it is going to be postponed or not, right from that day, every day I was able to see a lot of conversations having, on the groups, in the classes as well, on the internet, that yes, the dates are postponed. The dates are already postponed. Like the consortium has not released out it yet, but the students were already discussing. Yes, the exam has been postponed. कुछ बोल रहे थे exam नहीं होगा postponed. Things will get normalized soon, and so on, right? So my point being, don't go after these random dates. It will just leave you with the confusion and nothing else. Then the agenda for today for this session is the last mile preparation for exams. Now, I'm not going to tell you in this session कि क्या आपको करना है और क्या नहीं करना है. That is for you to ask. Whatever doubts that you're having, that is for you to ask to Manish sir. He'll be joining the session very soon. So he'll be the person today who is going to answer all your queries. What should be the strategy now? So now earlier what we were supposed to do, that only 1 month is left for your CLAT exam. But now things are dicey. You don't know when to start, how to start. Again, your whole planning and plotting, जो भी आपने अभी तक किया था, जो आपने schedule you have made for yourself, now that is supposed to be changed, right? You need to look out for other things. Mock test importance. This is the point when you should understand the importance of mock test. Mock test importance बहुत सारे बच्चों को नहीं पता होती है, and I really feel bad that why is that so? So please, all the students who are there in the session, please comment down. Are you giving the mock test or not? And be honest to yourself. This is the time you have to reflect. So just write yes or no, sir, if you are giving the mock test or not. Just write yes or no. Okay. Twice or once a week. Great, Ishika. Sahil says yes. Okay. That's amazing to see a positive response from all of you, because this is the thing which I fear the most, because a lot of students tell me, sir, I'm not getting the time to give out the mock test. My question is, where are you busy? Where are you involved in these at this particular time when you don't have to even go out somewhere? Everything is in a lockdown phase. And still, if you tell that, sir, I'm not getting the time to do that, or, I'm not feeling that importance of mock test, or I'm currently pursuing the live classes only, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Yes, live classes are definitely very important, but at the same time, mock test will make you analyze your own self. That will give you the taste that where do you stand in this world, kahan pe, what's your position, what's your rank. If you are able to score the top 10 position of Hitbullseye, tab jaake all over India mein you will be able to score in top 100. अगर यहीं पर ही your rank is 100 plus, then imagine the situation, how will you compete? That is my question. So to know yourself, to analyze yourself, you have to see that yes, I have to be in the league. To be in the league, I have to perform, and to perform, I need to analyze myself, that how things are going, right? So the importance of mock test is definitely there. Then as I started my session with the dates part, so the random media influence on the students. Okay, so in media influences a lot, so you need to understand that what is the thing that you need to look out for, and what are the things that you need to just don't look out for. So that is the thing that you should look. Okay. Moving on. Now the global gyan, the 101 global gyan that anyone can give you. Let's start with the things that you can get anywhere. So you just scroll down the internet, you just talk to any faculty. So all these things you can get from anywhere. That is, toppers eat something different, toppers live differently, toppers are toppers, Sharma ji ka ladka, the prodigy son. So there are a lot of people till date today who feel that toppers are different, but actually that's a myth. Toppers are you only. So everyone from Hitbullseye who secures a rank, they're not Sharma ji ka ladka. But they have their own individuality, they have their own personality, they have their own traits, and they become the toppers. So it's nothing like that. The toppers are somewhat different. कि ऐसा नहीं है कि CL में कोई topper है, legal age में topper. It's nothing like that. You all are students. In the end of the day, आप में से ही कोई एक टॉप करने वाला है, आप में से ही कोई एक होगा जो NLSIU बैंगलोर जाएगा, जो नालसार जाने वाला है, जो हैदराबाद जाना. So all the colleges, right? We are not going to be there. Now, the next thing that we have up is now the simple jugads to sail you through your nightmares. Now, what you have to do? मैं सिर्फ brief आपको देने वाला हूँ. The rest of the things you need to ask Manish today. Your passion should be there. Avoid repeated questions. So it should not be like that. So suppose I'll just take up an example as percentage. So that's one of my favorite topics. Now, what you are doing, or what a lot of students do, they practice a lot of percentage questions. So you did approximately 40 to 50 questions of percentage for the continuous 2 to 3 days. What you're doing is actually just wasting your time, because you're already good at it. What I suggest, go directly to a chapter-wise test if you feel confident about the topic. If you're confident about the topic, go to the chapter-wise test directly and just solve it. Just give that test. If you feel that I'm getting 90 plus, that means that yes, you're familiar with the topic. You have done all the preparation that is required for that topic. Now you can move on. So avoid wasting your time on those repeated questions. I can very well understand it boosts up your confidence, but again, at the same time, time is very less. You have to keep that in mind. Pattern of the exam. Till date, I can assure you, a lot of students ask me, sir, kya CLAT में higher maths आता है? Now, this kind of a question really, hurts me a lot with this, because अगर आपको pattern ही नहीं पता, if you don't know the syllabus of the exam, right, 1 month before the exam, then what are you actually doing? How actually are you preparing? That question really, makes me fall into a deep grief that what the students are doing right now. There are a lot of students who still ask me, sir, CLAT में higher maths आती है नहीं? CLAT में higher maths नहीं आती है. Please get this straight. Watch the, just download the papers, the question papers already on the Hitbullseye platform. In the test sections, you will find the previous year question papers. Just go through them, attempt them. That is where the mock test importance I was telling you about. So we have given you almost everything that is required for your exam. Not even almost, you've actually given you everything that is required to crack CLAT or any other law exam that you're targeting. Okay. So the pattern of exam and then the faith part. So have faith on yourself, have faith on the material that you have, and everything will come into place. Now, with this, we have Manish Mittal sir already joined the session. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, can you hear me?
Hi, good afternoon, Ankit sir.
How are you, sir?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Great. So I was just telling the students about what actually is the importance of these sessions, the BigBull ki Pathshala. Yes. And how they can get all their doubts clear in this session, because what happens is they just study on a regular basis. So like you take up the classes, I take up the class, and the rest of the faculties are also there. So what happens is they are just confined to a curriculum where we are just teaching them how to crack the competitive exam. We are just telling them that these are the things that is going to come in your exam. But actually in the real world, they don't know a lot of career opportunities, a lot of inside information that definitely you must be knowing, coming from a GK background, who has done everything. So sir over here has qualified a lot of government exams he has given. So he has that experience. He even appeared for the UPSC. So that is the thing. That is few things that you already are thinking in your head, that how to start those preparations. And definitely in their regular classes, they cannot ask you questions about UPSC, sir. So that is why we welcome you on this session, sir, BigBull ki Pathshala, and the podium is all yours now. And I request students to ask as many questions as you can to sir related to all your career opportunities. Over to you, sir, now.
Thank you so much, Ankit sir. Thank you so much for setting such a, let me just get with the controls. Yeah. So thank you so much for introducing such a wonderful introduction, which I don't think I deserve, but I am getting it every time.
No, you deserve every bit of it, sir.
So basically, what sir has said, I was just hearing this, and so basically, there is a lot of uncertainty right now. All of you students must be wondering, when are the board exams going to happen? When is the CLAT going to happen? Each and every exam is getting postponed, and I think this is the gloomy times we are witnessing, and this is not for the first time that this is happening. This is the second year now in a row, and God knows, God forbid, if the third wave takes away another year, you never know. So the thing is that we cannot be certain about the things we don't have control on. We cannot control something which is beyond, we cannot do anything about it. If the board exams are not happening, or if the CLAT exam and the other exams are not happening. But what we can control is how we are preparing and how we are approaching these exams. That is under our control. So basically, it's like a quote that I read somewhere, that if there is a lot of, I would say, if there is a lot of uncertainty in the world, if there is a lot of, जैसे एक हिंदी में कोट मैंने सुना था कि अगर दुनिया में बहुत सारे कांटे हैं तो आप कारपेट बिछाने नहीं जाओगे, you'll simply wear the shoes. So that's what I'm trying to tell you in this session also. That it doesn't matter how many uncertainties are there all around you. What matters is that you become strong, that you wear your shoes, that you wear your preparation so nicely that no matter what uncertainty is there, it should work to your advantage always. So also I get a lot of questions in various classes that I take also, that I will be addressing today. So there are certain frequently asked questions that I'll be taking up first, and then I'll also allow you to ask questions. Right. So first of all, I'll be taking some frequently asked questions. So there are various questions that student ask. The first and very frequently asked question is, what should we study in GK? I'll be talking about in general as well, but that what is important in GK? What all is important? What to study in GK? This is a question that I get a lot many times, because most of you may be from commerce or from non-medical backgrounds. Only some of you are from humanities background. So you keep asking me this question. So the answer to this question is not very simple. First of all, it does not matter which exam you're preparing for. It does not matter if GK is like explicitly asked in that exam or not. What matters is you should study GK. Why? Firstly, because you have already done it till your 10th standard. And the level that we cover in all our classes is not beyond your metric standard. So just because some of us were non-serious till 10th standard, or we didn't pay that much of attention, we are unaware of the fact that all the general knowledge that we are imbibing for these exams, we have already studied till our 10th standard. All the NCRT's books, all the some extra material that we are studying, that we have studied till 10th standard, is what gets repeated for these exams as well. Now, as far as what to study in GK is concerned, there are two dimensions of it. One is the static part, and another is the current part. Now, this is a general understanding. For the last few years, we have been observing the trends, and we know for sure, and we can say this authoritatively, that current portion is something that is gaining a lot of traction. Current GK is something that you should get hold of. This is something that is like a recurring trend, and across all domains, across all papers, current knowledge is something that is being asked now. So current GK is relevant. There is no doubt about that. As far as static GK is concerned, there are certain papers in which static GK is asked, but in all the papers, now this is true for all the papers, that even if current GK is asked, it has somehow link with static. And if static is asked, it has somehow link with the current. Let me give you an example. Now, those of you who are in touch with the happenings around the world, India and the world, they must be aware that in the last 10 days, India has to bear two cyclones. One is the cyclone Taute, and another is the cyclone Yas. So these are two cyclones that we have come across. Now the thing is, this becomes a part of your current affairs. But in any exam where general knowledge is a prominent portion, if you are asked that, say, typhoons occur in which part of the world? Now you might be wondering that this is a static GK question, but typhoons are nothing but cyclones with a different name. So what we learn from this is that whenever something is in current news, you do it very properly, even the static part of it. So if cyclone Taute has hit Indian coast, you should study what a cyclone is, and you'll also then come across various names of cyclones. For example, cyclones is a name that is given in the Indo-Pacific. In the Indian Ocean region, it is known as a cyclone. Typhoons is the name given to it in the Northwest Pacific. Near Korea and Japan, it is known as a typhoon. Similarly, near the Caribbean Sea and North Atlantic, it is known as hurricane. So the same phenomenon known by different names in different parts of the world. The same phenomenon in different parts of the world known by different names, but it is as simple as that. So you might be wondering that how can they simply ask a question out of the blue that what are typhoons or where typhoons occur, unaware of the fact that it has been taken from current GK. So that is one thing that we have observed across domains, that even if a question from current GK or even if a question from static GK is asked, it has somehow or the other link with static or current GK. Let me give you another example. See, in 2019, in some of the exams, a question about Aurangzeb was asked. Any question about Aurangzeb, that Aurangzeb was the dash Mughal emperor, say 6th great Mughal emperor, or Aurangzeb was the son of whom, or which all buildings or architecture were created by Aurangzeb. So any question regarding Aurangzeb. Now, those who studied current affairs properly, they knew that somehow or the other, a question on Aurangzeb was bound to be asked. And how is that so? Because in 2019, when Guru Tegh Bahadurji's martyrdom day was observed, Guru Tegh Bahadurji's martyrdom day was observed. So those of you who have the knowledge of history, they'll be knowing that Guru Tegh Bahadurji, who was the 9th Sikh Guru, was executed by Aurangzeb. Right? So when Guru Tegh Bahadurji's martyrdom day was being celebrated in 2019, various Sikh disciples or various people from the Sikh community, they went to a road in Delhi known as the Aurangzeb Marg. They went to that road and they painted the signboards with black paint. They painted the signboards with black paint and they protested against naming the road after someone who had executed one of their gurus. So it came into news. Aurangzeb came into news. And later on, the name of that road was changed and it was kept. Yes, can anyone tell me in the comment section what was the name of that road, or what is the name of that road right now? See, the center government did not want it to look like an anti-Muslim government. That's why they changed the name of the road, but they gave the new name also after a person who was a Muslim, a very prominent Muslim of India, of independent India, who is now no more. But the Aurangzeb Marg has now been named after APJ Abdul Kalam Marg. Now it was a big news in 2019. So if anyone was following this news, they must know that Aurangzeb is now in news. So a question on Aurangzeb might be asked. So this is how we have to identify in current affairs how questions can be asked. I hope I have made one point clear to you.
Yes.
Right. So you can reply to me in the comment section. Right. Right. So this is how the synergy between current and static has to be drawn. Current and static. So you have to pay extra focus on current affairs, and from current you have to also prepare the static portion of something which is in news, just like the example of Aurangzeb and cyclone. Right? So that was the first thing. The second frequently asked question that I know most of you must be wondering right now, that since the board exams have been, like, there is no uncertainty about the board exams, And also there is no certainty around the competitive exams that you're targeting. There is no certainty around the board exams, and there is no certainty around the competitive exams as well. So in both the cases, you are blank, because on board exams, the CBSE has been directed to give a final direction on 1st of June. So just today I was reading this news where the Honorable Supreme Court has given a direction to the central government that you should decide on whether to conduct or not to conduct the 12th board exams by 1st of June. So in the next 3-4 days, you'll be clear on the status of 12th boards. And as far as competitive exams is concerned, so much like last year, last year we were witnessing the first wave of COVID-19, and this year we are witnessing the second wave. So you can expect that this year as well, as we are seeing that the second wave has also plateaued and the cases are now going down. So you can expect the exams to be conducted somewhere around in the future, like in 2-3 months or in 1 month, 2 months. So you never know. But the thing is that there is uncertainty. Now, how to cope up with this uncertainty? So my suggestion to you would be, the first thing that you should do is you should study your boards as well as your competitive exam side by side. You should try to maintain synergy between your boards preparation and your competitive exam preparation, both of these. And this thing you have to do till you get a date, till you are certain at least about one of these, till you are certain either about the boards or about the competitive exams. You should devote your time equally both to the board exams preparation and to the competitive exams preparation. Ideally, I would recommend you 8 plus 8 plus 8 rule, which I think has never failed any topper in the last many years. And I'm not only talking about the exams of graduation level, I'm talking of much higher level exams as well. So this 8 plus 8 plus rule is very significant. In this, the first 8 hours are for sleep, which is something that we do not give value to. This is something that we underestimate the most. Like at night, we do not like to sleep till 12 o'clock, till 1 o'clock. And in the morning, we sometimes wake up early. So the routine is not very disciplined. The routine is not very systematic. But if you compromise on this component, your studies are going to be compromised, right? So sleep. The next 8 hours, you should ensure that you are going for your studies. Now, this is up to you whether you want to divide the preparation time between your boards and competitive exams to 4 by 4, that is 4 hours each, or you want to go it like 5 is to 3 or 3 is to 5. That is up to you. But ensure that this balance should not be like, it should be a proper balance. It should not be like 7 is to 1 or like 8 is to 0. This should not happen. Pay equal attention to both. And the rest of the 8 hours should be for productive activities as well, right? So it's not like you're watching TV for 6 hours or you are surfing internet for 5 hours. Okay, devote at least 2 hours of this days in your daily course, like eating, bathing, etc. Other than that, the 6 hours that are left, at least 1 to 2 hours should go to any physical exercise. And these things might look very simple to you, but mind you, these are the things that actually make a difference. Then the rest of the 4 hours you can spend in any way that you like. But make sure you do not engage in a hobby that is deleterious in nature. Now, when I say deleterious in nature, that means it should not suck off your energy. It should not be like energy grabbing. It should not be very, you can say, it should not be a very demanding thing that you do in those hours. It should be a light activity. So this 8 plus 8 plus 8 technique you can follow until this uncertainty subsides. And even after that, say once on 1st of June, you're sure that your board exams are going to happen. then you can maybe increase your devotion towards the board exams and a bit reduce it from the competitive exam side. And you may also do vice versa as per your requirement, right? And another frequently asked question to me, after which I'll be taking up your questions. Another frequently asked question, which is my favorite actually. This question is asked to me by those students who are putting in a lot of efforts and a lot of time towards their preparations. So they ask me how to stop ourselves, and this is my favorite question, from getting burnt out. Now, what is a burnout? A burnout is something that when you do something in excess, you get burned out. When you exercise a lot, your muscles are stiff. When you study a lot, your mind burns out. You burn out means you do something so excessively that your muscles, your neurological, you can say capacity, it burns out. That means how to chill yourself, how to maintain long hours of study. So for this, I have an acronym that I also use to follow when I call this SAVE. To save yourself, you have to follow this 4-step procedure. And this W has been put here intentionally. Do not think that I don't know the names of the spellings of SAVE. So you have to save yourself from long hours of study. And how does that happen? S stands for sleep. 7 to 8 hours of sound sleep is the first major requirement if you have to put in long hours of study, like 10 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours, and you have to sustain it for weeks, for months on end. Because I understand that if you want to if you actually see yourself in a single digit or a double digit rank in a national level exam, then this is something that you have to do. But how to save yourself? The first thing is that you take adequate sleep for 7 to 8 hours. Now, this is common sense. Sleep, you would say, all right, we should definitely take sleep. But the second thing I'm going to tell you is something a bit of an unconventional thing, but a very simple thing. This is something we cannot remain alive without, and this is the air we breathe. So this might sound a little strange to you, but air is very essential for the development of your brain. So at least 10 to 15 minutes of deep breathing or 1 to 1.5 hours of exercise and walk. It can be jogging, it can be cycling, it can be swimming, it can be anything you want to do, but it should get your heart pumping. So you take adequate air inside your lungs. It is going to help you a lot in remaining fresh when you're putting in those long hours. And these days, lungs capacity has to be kept at optimum level because it saves you from all these diseases that we are seeing around. The third thing in SAVE is water. Water is something that we underestimate. But if you ask someone who has put in a you know, long hours for months on end, he or she would tell you that if you keep sipping some water in between your sessions, it will never let you feel lethargic. It will never make you feel, or it will never allow you to feel sleepy. So water is something that you should drink. And at your age, I would suggest in these summer days, 3 to 4 liters of water intake is a must. In the end, E stands for exercise. Again, keep your heart pumping for at least 30 minutes a day. It can be a simple walk, it can be a jog, it can be anything. So if you want to save yourself from long hours of study, then this is how you do that. So this was my formula, and this is a formula I have been hearing from many toppers of various exams. These are the 4 things that if you focus on, the long hours of study won't do any harm to you. Right? Keep your motivation high, and just go for it, because those of the people, I mean, those of you who are in the session, you have attended this session because you want to do something about this uncertainty. You want to do something about this situation. It shows this, right? The fact that you have attended this particular session means you want to do something about this uncertainty. You want to know what you should do at the last mile. So you will be head and shoulders above those candidates who will be just stuck up in their uncertainty if you do these basic things right. So now I give it to you. Any question that you want to ask, just raise your hand, and I'll be happy to take your questions. It can be any question. It's not necessary that you have to ask a question on the GK section. It can be a question related to any uncertainty that you are facing. If it is not subject specific, I'll definitely be able to answer it. Okay, I've got 2 questions. All right. The first question I've got is on the revision strategy. So those of you who have already prepared for their exams, since this is the time when your board were supposed to end, your board exams were supposed to end by now, and your competitive exams were supposed to happen by now. So as far as revision is concerned, I would suggest you that whenever you read something, do it in a way that you don't have to do it again in the same manner. Let me explain to you what I have just said. It's a very simple thing, but most of us do not do this. So what I'm saying is, okay, so okay, so revision strategy you're asking. So basically, say there is a page. This is a page that contains, say, 500 words. When you are studying this page for the first time, you have to read all the 500 words. But just along with that reading, try to underline some important words and phrases like this. And you have to underline it or highlight it in a way that not more than 25% of the page is underlined. That way, you have eliminated 75% of grammar, supportive words, and all that. That means out of 500 words, you are now highlighting or underlining not more than 125 words, 100 to 125 words. So this is when you do the first reading of something. When you do the second reading, take a highlighter or a marker of a different color. Now, second time, you just have to read these 100 to 125 words. And even out of these 100 to 125 words, you have to underline not more than 20 to 25 words. Now, how is this important? Because next time when you have to revise the entire page, you'll just have to go through these 20 to 25 words, and everything will be like everything, you'll recall everything. And if you are not able to recall, go to these 100, 125 words. And God forbid, even in some cases, if you are not able to relate to some word, then you can again go to this 500 word strategy. But the thing is that every time you read the same document, the effort and the time invested should keep reducing. So for the first time, if one page takes 15 minutes to read properly with full attention, the next time it should take 10 minutes. The next time it should take 5 minutes. And finally, before the exam, it should not take more than 2 minutes. This is the strategy, but this strategy works only if you do it repeatedly, and only if every time when you do it, you're doing it with full attention. This is the strategy that toppers follow. They do not study the same thing again and again. When they study it again and again, every time there is some change. Every time there is some improvement. And that is how you can ace any exam. Well, this strategy can do wonders last time as well, in the last moments as well, but only if you are willing to put in some more hours. This 8-hour strategy, I don't think will work for those who are just starting. So, well, the number of hours is not a very rigid criteria as well. This is not a watertight compartment. It depends on you. If you are studying with full attentiveness, 100% concentration, then maybe 4 hours are enough for you. But if you are distracted, if your ability to grab new concepts, if your ability to get conceptual clarity is a bit less, then you may need 10 to 12 hours of study. That is something you have to judge on your own. That is something that you have to test on your own. Then another question I have got, which again is a very favorite question of mine, that is, how important is newspaper reading? I cannot tell you how important newspaper reading is, because it is the most important thing that you can do in your life. And when I say most important, I mean it, because there is nothing more important in general knowledge than reading newspaper. Because by reading newspaper, you are touching all the subjects every day without you even knowing it. All the subjects every day. You're reading questions related to history, science, geography, politics, economy, every day, every single day. And what it does, for those of you who are targeting CLAT specifically, what it does to your legal reasoning section and your English section also is immense. So just by reading newspaper for 1 to 2 hours daily, you are unconsciously or subconsciously preparing 3 sections of your CLAT exam directly. The general knowledge section, the legal reasoning section, and the English section. In fact, even the logical reasoning section to some extent. So newspaper reading is the most important thing you can do. And for that, I would recommend the Indian Express. You can start reading the Indian Express or the Tribune. And those of you, papers are not enough, or these newspapers are like, they're not up to the mark or something. Otherwise, Indian Express is a very prominent newspaper. Then you can go for the Hindu as well. I do not recommend the Hindu at your level, because it's a very opinionated newspaper. And you generally at this stage do not require much opinionated news. What you require is just substantial news. You just need to know. For example, this cyclone Yas that has just hit India. So what you need to know is, what is a cyclone, how tropical cyclones occur, what are its names. You just need to know the substantive knowledge, the factual knowledge. If you go to the Hindu, they will discuss the government policies towards cyclones. They will criticize the government. They will praise the government. So that opinion type of news is something that you should not get into right now. So that's why I always recommend Indian Express. And within Indian Express, there is a special page known as the explained page. You can also Google it, the Indian Express explained, and a lot of articles in a format, right? So these are articles that do not have any opinion. They are simple fact-based articles, and you can read them. Okay, some students are saying that 8 hours of study is too much. So I must tell you, it is not too much. At your age and at the level of energy that you guys are having, I don't think it should be of any problem, right? It's just a matter of mindset. So if you motivate yourself, then you will be driven. You'll be driven from within. Then this is not something you'll have to put in efforts for. All right. So this is all that I had to discuss in this class, in this session. You have got answers to your questions, and